Well, hello there, Apple Bites. This is your Apple Bite Rafael Tavares talking to you straight from our show here, The Written Writ, a show where you and I and you get together and become better writers. Yes, and we are here with ShadowRabbit, and this is the ShadowRabbit that I've been working with my fancy little stories on. And this is the figures he made on the ShadowRabbit, the three incarnations that are in the three stories. So, how did you go with this? How did you create this? What's the process?
Process is just putting some clay in your hand, having a dream in your heart, and seeing what comes of it. These are my little inventions of what a dream gone right or gone wrong could be.
And it's been fantastic working on this. The story has just flowed into my head. I started off with one piece, it led to another piece, and it led to another piece. And it's like I say, sometimes you got the right inspiration, and the inspiration will get you. Okay, so this is the ShadowRabbit, right? And we started talking about it. And what was your initial idea for the ShadowRabbit?
I mean, I'm always having trouble defining anything, names, people, ideas. So ShadowRabbit is something that you can only see if you've got your imagination. You build it for yourself. If you see scary stuff, it's probably going to be scary. If you want to see something nice, it'll probably be pretty kind to you. So I guess it's something I've been wanting to be forced to work on for a while. And luckily you came along. Helped me make my dreams.
I have to admit, man, it was fantastic, and it's so funny that you're saying that because that's what I saw in my head. I saw that it depends on who looks at the ShadowRabbit, what they see.
I mean, that's life, right? You kind of see what you want to see in people.
That is our life, we all can look at one person, and I'll see an evil villain, you can see a superhero.
Yeah, man, hey, we get to shape a little bit of who we want to be in this world. Whether the world sees you that way is one thing, but you can know who you want to be in yourself. So
you do a lot of this, you're very similar to what I do with my writing. You do these challenges, and people come up to you for commissions, and you just do amazing work.
I write a poem, I would, man, but that ain't my tools.
I appreciate that, but how do you make this happen? Because like let's say our friend Lou Tram, he comes up to you and he makes you do all these beautiful pieces, right? And exactly. And how do you decide which way you're going to go with it? How do you because you could have gone a whole different way with the ShadowRabbit or any of the other things you do.
Nah, man, I just seriously, I just put some clay in hand, and something happens sometimes. I'm just helping whatever's living in there express itself. It's really as best as I can describe it. I kind of black out when I'm working. I see these guys online, and you can see them going bit by bit, and it's like, oh, I know what that's going to be. I don't work like that, man. I take a ball of clay for real, and it turns into something.
I completely understand what you're talking about, because there's times where I'll just start writing something, and the story just tells itself. It becomes what it is. It's the same thing what happened with the ShadowRabbit storyline. I just had it work, and I started working on it, and I started making it look like something, and it just all started to come together. It was just amazing.
Man, that makes my day that way. Kind of flowed with it.
And that's the same thing that happened with Hugbert. Hugbert to me just started off with this teddy bear I had in the house. And then it turned into the superhero Hugbert. And then all the other stuff that came with it, because, it has a very deep story. Not that many people would see it from the get-go. But as we start to work on it, as Lou, from Lobby Lou, starts to work on his art, as we keep moving forward. And now our brother Lou here, Lou ShadowRabbit, is part of the process. So we're going to put all this stuff together. And one of these days you'll see what Hugbert becomes, and you'll see the ShadowRabbit story continue, because ShadowRabbit and I are working on something that we're going to bring to you.
Hey man, nothing but good things coming forward. Very excited, very honored to know other like-minded people, and happy to be on this weird trip with you.
So there you have it. This is the challenge. It's been a lot of fun. Right after this segment, you'll be hearing the three stories that I wrote. You listen to them, see what they are, see if you like them. What do you think? Did I get the ShadowRabbit right, or did I get it wrong? You tell me. Now, do yourself a favor and come and commission something from Shadow Rabbit, and he will make your dreams become reality.
Making me.
There you have it, guys. This is Writ Ralf, and check out the Shadow Rabbit story. Well, hello there, Apple Biteys. This is your Apple White, Raphael Tavares, talking to you straight from our show here, the Written Writ, show where you and I and you take a journey together to become better writers. As you just heard from Shadow Rabbit, Lou, and I at Suffolk County Comic and Art Expo, where we were showing off the beautiful Shadow Rabbit figurines that Shadow Rabbit had made for this Shadow Rabbit challenge, or double challenge, because of course this is part 2 of our challenge, where the first part was him and showing off the Hugbert, and this is the second part where we do his story of his Shadow Rabbit, where I was challenged to make something from his Shadow Rabbit. And this is what I came up with. Of course, if you like it, let us know. Write down in the comment section below. Did you like the Hugbert? Do you like the Shadow Rabbit? Do you want us to do something with either one of these projects? Let us know. And of course, you liked it, so give it 2 thumbs up. With that, I will give you Shadow Rabbit in 3 parts. Shadow Rabbit. The streets are eerily empty. So empty, the only sound I can hear is my own breathing. I also hear my footfalls as I walk down a street that has always been busy, no matter what time of day it is. I could swear the streetlights are getting dimmer, or is it the shadows that are consuming everything? Now I hear my heartbeat as it quickens. My blood feels cold in my veins. The chill feels like it's in my skin, trying to pour through my pores. Is that my breath I see leak its life force from me? When did it get so cold? Yet the sweat on my brow says I'm hot, yet I feel so cold. It's a sickening cold. A sickening cold sweat makes me feel completely uncomfortable. I turn. I can swear that I heard footfalls behind me, but no one is there. Yet the shadows are swirling in the night, or is that fog? I can barely see but a couple of feet around me. I continue to walk, and again I hear the steps behind me, quicker, heavier, and my hairs on my neck stand like there is somebody behind me. I turn, and it all goes quiet, the kind of quiet that turns your stomach. I should hear something, cars on the street, the sirens as they rush to their emergency, people talking like they always do. I turned and, "Hello, Maxwell," she says, as I didn't let out a manly scream. "Sorry, ma'am, I didn't see you there." Where the hell did she come from? I know she wasn't there when I look back. I can tell she's beautiful, very beautiful, yet I can't stop looking at her face. It's not because she's beautiful, though. I could swear it looks off, strange. Her eyes feel like they're munching on my soul. And I feel as if I'm nude in front of her. That's okay. I didn't mean to scare you. The voice is smooth, seductive. It makes me feel all sorts of things. Yet fear seems to overcome all of them. I also didn't believe her. The look on her face makes my knees weak. I keep telling myself I'm just attracted to her, but I know it's a lie. The pain in my core tells me it's a lie. The fact that I want to run tells me it's a lie. You didn't scare me, I stammer, with not convincing her or me. What's wrong with me? It's just a girl. She would be scared of me. How many women have I conquered? What is going on? I muster up all my courage and say, "You're a sexy little thing. You shouldn't be out in a night like this." Yeah, that felt good. Take control of the situation. Make her be as scared as you are. She smiles, and it feels like my heart jumped into my throat. Her eyes, they feed upon me like a lion eats its prey. My heart speeds up.
It hurts, my chest feels like it's gonna explode. I was hoping you would do that. For a minute, you had me worried. I thought you would prove to be better than I thought you were. And I so wanted you to be oh so bad. These are the words I want to hear, but they weaken my legs. I hear run, but nothing's working with me. Suddenly, I hear a sickening crack, and I look at her as her face elongates. It sounds like when bones are breaking, but to the sound of many bones just popping. These purple rabbit ears come out of her head. She starts shading purple, a sick, dark purple. It looks as if some kind of wet, oily substance has come over her. She soon towers over me as her slender arms and legs stretch out from her form. They remind me of the shadows I would see in my room as a kid, the ones that terrified me all night long. What's wrong, Maxwell? Don't you find me attractive anymore? I hear a deep, raspy voice in my head. My heart wants to come out of my mouth. The eyes rip at me, or is my flesh being ripped from me? I can't catch my breath. I can't breathe, my chest hurts. The shadow rabbit jumps at me, its form consumes me. The darkness envelops me. The darkness swirls around this aloof rabbit. Its lips are licked by its snake-like tongue. It stands there as this guttural roar escapes its sharp-toothed mouth. Then its eyes lock upon its next victim. Do you feel that? Is it a breeze? Did it just get cold in here? Shadow Rabbit 2. The rain is pretty when it falls, even in this barren place. I will never understand why they wish to live in these cities. Lightning flashes across the sky, lighting everything as if it was day. Then an explosion follows as thunder erupts from what seems like the bowels of hell. Everyone walking down the street stops still, as if they are awaiting their very destruction. They get scared so easily. Look at them jump from the simple sound of thunder. Their fear is so delicious. I must say, I was not expecting this scrumptious snack. A father and a child pass by the woman dressed in black, covered by her hooded cloak. It's almost as if she melts into the shadows of her cloak. The child smiles at the woman and says, "Look, Daddy, it's a rabbit." The father looks at the hooded figure, and all the hairs on his body stand up. His heart races as if it were a race car, running a race behind its greatest rival. The grotesque, huge purple rabbit he sees makes his stomach almost regurgitate his dinner. When the rabbit smiles, he feels lightheaded and almost faints. The child smiles happily and says, "Oh my God, the bunny's so cute." I love children. They see with such purity, untainted by the unfaithfulness of adulthood. Father looks again at the woman in the black hooded cloak, yet all he sees is the tall, grotesque, purple, slender, alien-looking rabbit before him. His stomach feels like a quivering mass of jello, ready to expunge its content. His limbs fight against him as they go weak, and he staggers a bit. He pulls on his daughter and looks away from the woman. "Bye, Bunny," the child says as she's pulled away. My, Daddy dearest. What wonderfully tasty fears you have. Haven't you been a naughty boy? She follows them up the street as the rain pours forth from the sky. The wind whips around, making the raindrops sting as it hits his skin. It swirls around the father and daughter and yanks the umbrella from his hand. When he turns to retrieve the umbrella, he hears his daughter say, "Bunny!" His blood feels like ice water, and his hair stand up high. Turning, His heart tries to rip from his chest as his daughter is now gone. He frantically searches the rain-soaked streets, yet the fog that has rolled in hampers his search. He stops, looks around, his ragged breathing and rapid heart hurting in his chest. That's when he realizes the only sound he hears is the torrential rain and nothing else. No sirens, no people, no noise, nothing but the rain. In the silence, he hears his daughter's voice. "Bunny, you should meet my daddy." His heart beats against its cage, threatening to break the bars wide open. He runs towards his daughter's voice, saying, "Well, honey, come to daddy." He hears nothing in response, no sound, just the rain. He catches the glimpse of two shadows through the rain and fog. He runs towards it, but no matter how fast he runs, they elude him. Suddenly, the quiet is disrupted by a whisper. "How could you?" He turns around but sees no one. He stutters out, "Give me back my daughter." It starts with one whisper, and then another, and another. So there's a cacophony of whispers. "How could you? What kind of a man are you? Why would you do such things? I know what you did. You should be ashamed of yourself." He falls to his knees, splashing to a puddle. Tears stream from his eyes. He covers his ears and tries to stop the whispers. He screams out, I'm sorry, please, I just want my daughter back. I'm sorry, please, Leia, forgive me." "Daddy, are you okay?" A little voice rings out in the silence. Before him stands his daughter, with a worried look on her face, tears in her eyes as well. "It's okay, Daddy," she says as she hugs him tight, and he hugs her back just as tight. They hug long and hard in that torrential rain as people pass by them staring. He takes up his daughter into his arms and holds her tight as he carries her home. She smiles and snuggles into his arms. She hugs the bunny with the aloof smile tightly. A smile that looks deep into your soul. The smile that a little girl loves dearly because her bunny is cute. ShadowRabbit 3. Daddy is so nice to me now. He holds me and tells me stories. He helps me with my homework. He doesn't hit me anymore. The room is still and quiet as Anna plays tea party with her bunny. In the doorway, her father watches, a cold sweat on his brow. His eyes do not leave the bunny seated across from Anna. Daddy doesn't seem to like my bunny. All he does is watch him. But he's so cute and fluffy, and he gives me such big warm hugs. He's so small, and I love the purple fur. It tickles my nose when I hug him. As Anna walks over to her kitchen set to refill her tea for her tea party, the small bunny's head slowly turns to look at her father. A huge smile forms on the bunny's face, and sharp, long teeth shine brightly. An ice-cold shiver runs through him as he sees the smile once again. The unnaturally tall, slender figure smiles wider as drool runs down the long, sharp teeth. Anna returns and picks up the small bunny and gives it a great big hug. The dad just looks on in amazement that his daughter does not fear this thing. As he watches, his memory flashes to the other night. He was asleep when he heard a noise and opened his eyes. The room was still, yet in the black corner, the darkness seemed to be blacker than usual. His heart quickened, and he didn't know why until it uncoiled from its ebony blanket, emerging from the shadows as if the shadow was being given form. Slender legs stood, and long thin arms raced across the ceiling. The face is what made his heart try to burst from his chest, and all the hairs on his body stood straight. He had trouble breathing, and thought he had stopped when the voice drilled its way into his ears. You've been a naughty boy. He tried to scream, but nothing came from his mouth. Its long, stick-like fingers caressed his face, and he felt sapped, as if his very essence were being tapped. Oh, so naughty, so nasty, so hateful, so delicious. I love that fear. His heart raced like an animal trapped in a corner. Yet, I can tell you actually love your daughter. The shadow smiles widely, those sharp, pointy teeth inch away from him. The stench of death escaping his maw, almost suffocating him, making him heave multiple times as his chest hurt with an unimaginable pain. A pain he realized was his heart as it raced in speeds beyond what it was meant to. I give you one chance, the shadow says as its stick-like finger points to his heart. Make a change, or I will eat your brain. The laugh that escapes this dark, enshrouded figure is unlike anything he has ever heard. It burrows into his brain, as if tentacles that have wrapped themselves around it and are squeezing. He closed his eyes and screamed in pain. When he reopened them, his daughter was staring, crying, and worrying, saying, "Daddy, are you okay?" He thought it was all a dream, till he walked by his daughters the next day and saw her playing with the large, slender, purple-hued rabbit. Since then, he watches her play with it as if nothing, yet he feels it staring, looking, waiting, watching, smiling, and drooling. His daughter smiles at him and waves. Daddy is so good to me now. Maybe he realizes how much I love him. His daughter smiles. The rabbit smiles. They both look at him. One with pure love, and one with salivating hunger.